Most fear is not caused by pain. It is caused by surprise, the sudden loss, the unexpected rejection, the moment reality breaks the image you were attached to. People do not fear suffering. They fear being unprepared. This is where Stoicism begins. Negative visualization is not pessimism. It is not weakness. It is not dwelling on darkness. It is rehearsal. The Stoic imagines loss, so that loss loses its power. He sees the worst, not to suffer twice, but to suffer less when it matters. The unprepared panic. The prepared remain calm. Attachment is the root of fear, not love, not care. Attachment. The belief that something must remain. Your status, your strength, your relationships, your identity. Negative visualization dissolves this illusion. You imagine losing respect, losing comfort, losing control, losing even your name, and you ask a dangerous question. Who am I when this is gone? Most people avoid this question because they fear the answer. The Stoic confronts it daily and discovers something terrifying. He survives every imagined loss, which means fear was lying. Panic is born from contrast, from believing this shouldn't be happening. Negative visualization removes that belief. When hardship arrives, the Stoic recognizes it. He has already been here, in his mind, so his body does not revolt. His breath does not fracture. His judgment remains intact. This is why Stoics appear cold in crisis, not because they feel less, but because nothing shocks them. Surprise is the weapon of chaos. Preparation disarms it. This practice is not abstract. It is daily, controlled, brief, precise. You imagined losing your job, being misunderstood, being alone, being reduced to nothing. Then you return to the present, and suddenly, everything you have feels temporary, not fragile, borrowed. This creates gratitude without attachment. You stop clinging, stop fearing loss, stop negotiating with anxiety, because you have already made peace with the worst. And the worst didn't break you. At the highest level, negative visualization transforms identity. You no longer see yourself as someone protecting a life. You become someone prepared to lose it. This does not make you reckless. It makes you free. You speak truth without fear. You walk alone without panic. You act without needing approval, because what can be taken from you has already been released in your mind. This is why Stoics were unshakable. They were not optimistic. They were ready. The man who imagines loss is never surprised by it. The man who accepts loss is never controlled by fear. And the man who has already lost everything cannot be threatened. Negative visualization is not darkness. It is clarity. Most people hide behind certainty. They assume tomorrow. They assume loyalty. They assume stability. This assumption makes them fragile. When you practice negative visualization, you stop assuming, and something subtle happens. You begin to see how afraid others are of even considering loss. They avoid certain topics. They deflect. They grow anxious when permanence is questioned. This reveals their leverage points, not so you can exploit them, but so you are never surprised by them. The man who has rehearsed lost, can see fear in others clearly, because he no longer carries it himself. Hesitation is born from imagined consequences. What if I lose? What if I fail? What if I'm rejected? Negative visualization answers these questions in advance. You imagine failure, rejection, isolation, embarrassment, and you survive it mentally. So when the moment to act arrives, there is no internal debate. You already know the cost, and you already accepted it. This is why Stoics act decisively, not because they expect victory, but because they are no longer negotiating with fear. Threats only work when they introduce fear of loss. Take away security, take away comfort, take away reputation. But what happens when a man has already accepted these losses? The threat collapses. There is nothing left to leverage. This is why tyrants feared Stoics. Why calm men frighten manipulators. You cannot coerce someone who has already rehearsed losing everything. Negative visualization does not make you reckless. It makes you unthreatable. Stoics practiced mental poverty. They imagined being ignored, being poor, being stripped of status, not to suffer, but to remember. That identity does not live in possessions. That dignity does not live in praise. That strength does not live in comfort. When you accept being reduced, you stop fearing reduction. And when reduction no longer frightens you, you become impossible to humble. The man who can lose everything stands taller than the man who protects everything. At the final stage, negative visualization disappears as a practice because it has reshaped the mind. You no longer cling. You no longer panic. You no longer fear sudden change. Loss arrives, and you remain intact. Not numb, not detached from life, rooted. The world may take from you, but it cannot disorganize you. This is Stoic invincibility. Quiet, uncelebrated, absolute. The unprepared fear loss. The attached negotiate with fear. The distracted are ruled by surprise. But the Stoic, he has already walked through the worst and returned unchanged. Nothing terrifies a man who has already made peace with losing everything.